Happy Friday, everyone. Here we are. We are two B's. I'm Joe, and this is Morg.
Hi.
And we're on episode 19.
Woo! Almost in the 20s. We're just like little teenagers almost in our 20s.
We're so close. We're right on the edge. I can't believe it. But this week, what we're talking about is dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Here come your bees. We're talking about weddings.
I love it. Wow.
Right? That kind of worked out better than I thought. But before we do that, bit of baggage for you, Morg. I thought that maybe I should fill you in on my fire escape.
Maybe our listeners are dying to know. Dying.
I'm sure everyone has just been like on the edge of their seat, totally shocked that last week we didn't even mention it.
They need to know what happened to the fire escape.
Right? I mean, I can't believe we just, we acted like nothing happened. But I guess, at the end, it really wasn't that interesting, but still interesting. Sure.
Yeah. And for those of you who are new with us this week, Joe, 2 episodes ago, had to go to Spain for administrative duties. And we explained what that means in the episode. No, we don't. But the reason she was in Spain was to, kind of shut down some business affairs there. And one of the things that she was left with was a fire escape. Please listen to episode 17 to understand further. But we're checking in on that fire escape. What happened to it? Is it back in the U.S.? Was it left in Spain? What happened, Joe?
Well, Morg, the fire escape did return home to the States with me.
Whoa! It is a U.S. fire escape now.
It is. I mean, again, kind of like I mentioned before, I felt like everyone I talked to made me feel, well, I shouldn't say they made me feel, I felt dumb. Because they were like, what? We don't worry about fires, which seems bizarre to me, but it doesn't seem to be much of a concern. For some reason, they weren't interested in my fire escape. So I bought another suitcase. My dad was like, what is wrong with you? I bought a very small suitcase and I stuffed the fire escape into a backpack, and I kept all of the things that I would have put in the backpack into the suitcase. Also didn't make a whole lot of sense because the fire escape, like I mentioned, was very heavy and I carried it on my back, and my back still hurts pretty bad. And now I still have a fire escape that I don't know what to do with.
So, wow, this was the most well-traveled fire escape, I think.
Yes, it is. I think it's traveled more than any other fire escape.
And I just want to return back to the fact that Europeans are not really scared of house fires, because this is something like elementary school assembly. You learn about house fires. You talk about how you need to sit your parents down and understand the escape plan if a fire were to occur. And it just blows my mind that in Europe, I guess they don't have that assembly and that talk.
Yeah, stop, drop, and roll. That should have been my first question, is like, did you guys learn stop, drop, and roll?
Yeah, what happened?
Yeah.
Why is that instilled in me as an American?
I don't know, but I'm going to have to ask around because, well, one thing that I did hear was, or the reason that they weren't so concerned with fires, and I would love to, if someone could confirm this for me, was because there's no, I'm forgetting the word, Morg. Is it insulin in the walls? It doesn't feel like it's insulin. What's the word? That pink stuff?
Insulin is for diabetes.
Thank you. So it's not that.
But I know exactly what you mean, and I don't have the word for it.
Shoot, neither of us can remember the word.
It's that pink stuff in the walls.
That pink stuff that looks like cotton candy that your parents say don't touch because it has fiberglass in it. That stuff. But apparently that's what's like really flammable, and they don't keep that in their walls. So I guess they're not as flammable.
Interesting. Okay, so the houses there won't go up in flames because they don't have, man, this is killing me. What is it called?
Yes. Whatever it's called. And I'm hearing this like secondhand from someone who didn't tell me they read that somewhere, or they couldn't confirm if it was like fact or not. So, take it with a grain of salt. I'm not sure if that's the reason.
So unconfirmed, there's probably some of that in the walls in Europe.
I don't know though, Morg, because the walls are, you can hear really well through the walls. Like I remember hearing my neighbors.
Insulation. God. There it is.
Oh, I was close.
You were. Missed it by this much.
Like a syllable or two.
But yeah, so no insulation in Europe. You can hear all your neighbors, and therefore fires are not to be something that you learn about in assembly. I think we summarized this well.
Yeah. So, a learning experience for all of us, right?
Okay, so what is the next chapter of the fire escape's life?
I don't know. That's a good question. So I don't know if now I'm going to see if anyone wants it here. I mean, how did you describe this? It's like really taunting me, this fire escape, because it continues to.
Oh, yeah. I feel like it's plaguing you.
It's plaguing me. That's the word you used. It totally is, because it continues to. It's like in the back of my mind, I'm like, I've got to do something with this fire escape because it still doesn't serve me any use right now. So if anyone needs a fire escape, I'm trying to get rid of one.
Wow. I hope somebody writes in and we can get this off your hands. And they're like, you know what? I live in a 2-story house because that's as high as it goes. And this is what I need. This is what I need in quarantine. You could just like throw it out your window and have a alternate route that's just always available.
That's true. Maybe I'll keep it. I don't know. I haven't put too much thought into it yet. I should. I mean, it's been 2 weeks, so.
I think you have put a lot of thought into it. It has come home with you.
You're right. Too much thought. That might be the problem.
But I'm glad that we will have more check-ins on it because it's continued to be a part of your life.
Yes, it'll probably be in my life until I'm like 100. Longer than any relationship I ever have with any person. I don't know.
It's like in your obituary. And her fire escape. She survived by her fire escape. But not to be talking about funerals, because this week we are discussing weddings.
Ooh, good transition.
Thank you. And that was our bee baggage. We know y'all needed a check-in, and send us more. Send us comments. Send us where we should send the fire escape, or just any questions that you have that we can answer.
You can also write my imaginary obituary with my fire escape if you so wish.
And we will read it. We will have a funeral for Joe.
I would love that.
But this week with weddings, this topic came up because Joe and I have both had odd COVID wedding experiences. And then we just realized we have a lot of wedding stories to tell y'all overall. So let's just kind of start with the COVID weddings. Joe, I know you were invited to one. What has happened there?
Okay, and when we say COVID weddings, does this refer to COVID weddings any wedding that was supposed to happen during COVID, or COVID weddings that were not canceled?
I mean, it's an either or sitch. So I know you were going to go to one that was in Atlanta, I think.
Yeah, so that one, it was originally in April in Atlanta. And then, around late March, it got moved to August. And then in June, they just flat out rescheduled it for a year from now.
God, it sounds like this will they, won't they situation. It's like when you're watching your two favorite characters on The Office, Jim and Pam, just not get together.
Oh my gosh, that's such a good way to use it. It's like so frustrating. It's like you're so close, they're so close, and then, it's not going to happen.
I know. And that must suck for them. But
yeah,
I do think like COVID is like the greatest out ever, right?
Yes.
Like, if they wanted to just be like, listen, y'all, we tried to do the boring part of our wedding. We're just going to not have it where y'all have to come. And in like a year, we're going to throw a huge party. That is the route I would take.
And that's okay. So I know someone who's doing that as well, is that they're doing just a really small family ceremony with, just immediate family. And then that's exactly what they said. They're like, as soon as this is opened up, like we'll have a huge party. And I was like, yeah, because I don't want to go sit for an hour Catholic mass. Like that's perfect for me.
No. And honestly, maybe this is the time of a reckoning. Like maybe people are realizing nobody wants to go to that part anyways. They're like, whoa, I could just not go to that part of the wedding and actually just go to the party part. Please keep it separated going forward.
I mean, I totally agree, but I'm just wondering if people would be okay with that, like as far as tradition goes, because I think I kind of once said something to my mom about how, I don't know, I wanted to get married outdoors, and she was like, no, you have to get married in a church. So like, I don't know. I feel like you've got your people who are very much like, oh, you can't do that. Like you've got to get married.
Well, that's why they can come to the first part.
Yeah, you're right. Oh my God.
You keep it separated.
Yeah, where it's like, hey, if you want to join to watch us do our vows and stuff. I don't know. To me, it's creepy too. Like, I feel like it'd be weird to be up there in front of everyone on display.
I know. I feel like I'm like part of this intimate moment where I'm like, should I be here? Am I supposed to be watching this? They're like professing their love, and you're like, I feel like this is for y'all too. I don't feel like this is for me.
You're so right. Like, this COVID thing, we're going to see how this plays out, because I feel like things could totally change. Because I feel like now that we are talking about it, I'm not into that. I don't want to stand up in front of a bunch of people and be like,
here, I will treasure you for all of my life.
Oh, and that's exactly how I'd say it too.
You like ring a bell as well.
I've got my squire holding my dress and whatever.
You're reading from a scroll.
Yes, that trails out all the way out of the building. It takes me 2 hours.
Damn it, we're going to be here forever. But yeah, I was supposed to go to a wedding as well during COVID. And so I'm in Texas, right? And it kept getting like closer and closer to the date. And as you know, the US now knows, Texas was not looking good. And this was back in July. And, you know, we opened the state like a free-for-all. And
wow, what a good way to describe it. It really was. Every man for himself.
Do what you want to do, really. So we opened the state free-for-all. And at the time, I think the people holding the wedding made a good decision. They thought like, hey, the state's reopening. We don't have to move. Sure, they were getting vendors that were like, we might not give your money back. The state's reopening.
Yeah.
So, but then it like curved, right? Like, or not curved. I guess we didn't curve. And it just kept going up. And the skyrocket in Texas happened. And I was like, is this going to get canceled? And it just kept not getting canceled.
Mm-hmm.
And then I mean, it was like a dramatic saga, too, because then people who were supposed to go and be in the wedding were like, I was just around someone diagnosed with COVID. And people started dropping like flies from the attendee list. And I mean, honestly, we dropped too. We were like, we're not going. We're out.
Well,
we out.
And how much time was between when, you know, we all started realizing that the cases in Texas were going up, and between that point and the wedding? Like, how much time passed? Like, how much time did these people have to make a decision?
Well, the wedding was mid-July.
Okay.
And, you know, we started seeing cases by probably end of June.
Okay.
And I mean, I feel like that's when we like started to be like, all right, I think we did something a little too fast. And that's when finally Governor Abbott said masks might be a good idea.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. It took him long enough.
Yeah. So with that, I feel like they didn't have much time to cancel. So it's not on them. I just think it sucked. It was just like, we are going to hold this because we can't really cancel now, but we also understand that you might not want to come.
Yeah. Okay, so, well, that's cool, because I have heard people who, you know, when they get canceled on last minute, which I cannot fault them. Again, it has to really suck. My heart goes out to anyone who was supposed to get married during COVID. That's got to be really hard. But I've heard of people who get, like, brides and grooms who get really angry, or, you know, kind of a little bit of bridezilla-y when it's like you cancel, and it's like, oh my gosh, well, that's kind of like, oh
yeah, it's just like a weird time, right? Like, it's the standards aren't what they were. Like, sure, everyone loves a little etiquette and canceling before last minute, but these times are so odd, and people's safety.
Yes, por culpa de COVID.
Por culpa de COVID. Yeah, like I just don't think it's like you don't get to have the same reaction when the times are different, right? And yeah. I feel like people are having the same reaction, or some people are having the same reactions, and then it just doesn't fit because the stakes are so much higher. It's like, it's not like they can get mad about it when it's like, you might die if you come because I am creating an incubator of possible COVID cases.
Yes. Do you know anyone who's gone to a COVID wedding at all?
Yes. So, I mean, some people wound up going to that one I was invited to because it didn't get canceled, but I did not go.
Okay, but you haven't talked to anyone in the sense of like, I'm just curious what a COVID wedding looks like, in that, is there social distancing? Because I imagine once people start drinking, all bets are off.
I think there's not.
Yeah. So like you said, like a COVID incubator.
Yeah, because, I mean, at that point, you're dancing on the dance floor. I mean, unless you change the wedding to be the very weirdest wedding ever.
Yeah.
I would say it's not going to look very social distanced.
Huh. Yeah. No, I mean, I feel like you have to be right.
We have 6 foot apart dance floors. Please stay in your square.
That would be cool. It's like everyone gets their own little square to dance in.
That would be cool.
It'd be cool if they like invested in some sort of floor that had big 6 feet squares and they all lit up. Like I would do that. Or maybe, oh my gosh, how have there not been any like dances that have come out of this? Like do the 6 feet. Oh, and everybody stays in their own space.
Oh, I bet there is something on TikTok going around, but as you know, we're not on there.
Yeah, we're not on TikTok. And, you know, from what I've seen on TikTok, they're usually just one girl in a bikini dancing. So I don't really get TikTok and how that works.
All I've understood it to be is that they just do the same dance over and over. So different girls in different bikinis recreate the same video.
Then I don't feel like that's what I'm looking for. Like, I want someone to create like a line dance version of COVID, the 6 footer or something.
Okay. Y'all heard it here. You heard what will get Joe onto TikTok. She wants a line dance.
Yeah. Well, let's not go that far. I don't know if it'll get me on TikTok, but I might look at it.
A step closer. Okay. No guarantees here, y'all. Yeah, but Joe, I feel like the 6 foot apart wedding like dance floor just is already what we do. Like, I think you and I both have so many photos of us at weddings just dancing by ourselves and like being the biggest, like, I don't want to say loser.
No.
The biggest weirdo on the dance floor.
Yeah, Morgan and I, you know, I feel like we call ourselves unofficial hype men. Like we're there to get the party started, but really we dance like so all over the place that we clear the dance floor.
The dance floor is ours for the taking.
Right? We have the reverse effect. We don't get people to dance. Like we're just out there and people are trying to avoid our flailing limbs.
Yes, I have limbs all over the place. I think we have pictures from your sister's wedding. Felt like I have pictures from my sister's wedding. Like they're just us on the dance floor flailing around. Don't worry, we'll post some. You will understand what we mean. And Joe, I think we help, though. We help people realize that you just be yourself, man.
Exactly. Like, get out there and have fun. Like, I'm totally with you. And also, like, sneaky photographers, I feel like, why are you taking the world's worst picture of me? Like, can't a girl get out there and dance and not have to be aware that she makes some really weird facial expressions when she dances?
I know. I feel like my entire dance face is just a stink face. It's just like a permanent lip curl and then like some hip jives.
Yes, that is Morgan's wedding dance right there. I feel like mine, I go through like a range of faces. It really depends on the song, but I mean, I hit a lot of faces. It's hard to just say one is it.
Well, and I absolutely hate like the Cupid Shuffle and those like group dance things.
Oh, so you wouldn't like my 6 feet apart dance?
Well, I don't think so. Not if everyone can do it.
That's the point.
I don't know. Every time we do those, I just really don't like them because I feel like they think they're tricking me to get on it. They're like, all right, everybody knows this one. It's the Cupid Shuffle. And then the DJ's like yelling at you to go get on the dance floor. And I'm like, no, what? Not this one.
That's exactly what they're doing. Isn't that the purpose of it? Is it's like for people who don't like dancing, unlike us. I mean, I don't know what it's like to be like that. But isn't it for the people who are like, don't want to get out there and
them
they're like,
comfortable?
Yeah, like, oh, I can do this. Like, I'm not going to get out there and just like jive my hips or whatever you said, but I will do a few steps to the left, to the left, to the right, and then dip or whatever.
All right. I guess it is. But to be inclusive, I'm of the opinion, let them stay seated. Those people don't want to dance.
Oh, this feels controversial. Morg is of the opinion that the dance floor does not need to be danced on by everyone.
I just don't think the people that don't want to dance need to be up there doing the clap 4 times.
I feel like they should, because they might discover their love of dance. Maybe they're like, wow, clapping 4 times changed my life.
Okay, so it's a gateway dance.
Yes, it is a gateway dance. You got to be careful with that Cupid Shuffle.
Watch out. You're going to be jiving your hips soon. But no, I do think we are the unofficial hype men. And I mean, why unofficial? I think we are official hype men at the weddings.
Well, we don't get paid.
I'm ready to get out there. Oh, we don't get paid. There it is. That's why we're unofficial.
But I'm ready to be official.
I'm always so ready to be official, but...
Should we get some business cards printed out? Official hype men, Morg and Joe?
I think so. And hand them out at weddings we're at. Hello there. I'm the official hype man.
Yes. But Morg, we can, oh my gosh, another business idea. We could market ourselves like COVID hype men because like we said before, we clear the dance floor. So it's like you won't have to worry about people dancing closely if we are there. We're professionals.
Don't worry at all. I have a wingspan that requires at least a 6-foot distance. I will spin around and clear the dance floor.
Right. And I will get all over that dance floor. So you don't have to worry about pockets, little groups clustering. Like I move quick and I move a lot.
I like it. Okay. I think great. I love our business ideas. Always successful, always ready to be official if needed.
I'm going to design some business cards.
Perfect. Yes, please. I'm ready to hand them out. Next wedding I go to, I'll hand it out and be like, I'm the, well, I won't say unofficial. Our business cards will say official.
Yes.
And I'll say, I'm the official hype man of this wedding. And somebody will be like, what does that mean? And I'm like, wait till this boring part's over. Meet me on the dance floor.
You're like, what are you even doing here? Didn't they cut this part out of weddings? Also, I picture us as official hype men looking kind of like, I forget their names, but the main characters from Pulp Fiction, like wearing suits with like black ties.
Oh, yes. Yes. I feel like we look like we're wedding crashers. People are like, are you even invited here? And I'm like, yes, I am supposed to be here.
This is my job.
And I take it very seriously.
Step away from the dance floor. Go sit down.
Yeah, you don't even like the Cupid Shuffle. Stop lying to yourself. But Joe, pre-COVID, I have some just general opinions and then also really great stories of weddings I've been at. Just a general opinion that I have is being a date to the wedding is so much better than being like an important attendee at a wedding. Like holding a bridesmaid position is a lot more stressful. Like, and even attending a wedding as someone you like want to make sure they know you're there. But when you're a date to a wedding to people you don't know, it's like the chillest vibe. It's great.
I mean, I agree with you, but it's like almost more stressful because it's like you don't know anyone. I feel like it can be. I mean, sometimes it's awesome because it's like it doesn't matter what you do, but at the same time, it's like you're with a date and then your date knows other people that you don't know. Like, I don't know. I just feel a little bit like needier almost, which I don't consider myself a needy person, but I also am not like really excited to go talk to strangers that I'm just going to see for the day and be like, hey, how do you know the groom? Bride or groom? Huh? How you hanging? Bride looks great. What do you think?
See, I am of the like opinion, you know how a stand-up comic goes to like underground bars to test their jokes first?
Oh.
I'm like, this is my dancing ground. Like, I don't give a crap. I'm about to dance my heart out. I'm going to see what works, what doesn't work.
But how do you know what doesn't work? Are you like gauging the audience reaction, or how do you just what doesn't feel right? Like, how do you know what's not working?
I don't know. Like, I just feel like you know after you do a little move, you're like, no, that wasn't it. Wasn't it?
Not the one. Dang it. What is it?
I feel like that's what being a date at a wedding where you know no one is. It's like, I don't care. I'll tell y'all whatever I want to tell you. You don't even remember my name.
Yeah, okay, that is a good point. But I definitely, like, I went to a wedding a little while back where I was a date and Billie Jean came on. Growing up, I learned like every Michael Jackson dance possible. And I'm out there like legit pulling moves from that music video, from the Beat It music video, from the Thriller music video. Like, I'm just like ripping. And I just remember like catching some eyes and being like, this feels weird. Like, these are like,
and that's when you're like, this isn't it. This isn't it.
This isn't it. Okay. So that's how you know.
Yeah. And that was your testing ground. Who cares about those people? They were just who you tested your jokes on. You know?
Okay.
Who you tested your dance moves on.
Apparently I can't dance to Billie Jean. Got it.
No, or at least not there. You're like, what kind of wedding is this? Is this just not the right wedding for it?
Yeah. Well, it was a Spanish wedding, Morg, so forget it.
Yeah, maybe they don't get Michael Jackson like Americans do. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Maybe they don't get that you can combine all of his dance moves into one song. It's fine. This one's from Thriller. It's okay.
It's fine. You don't know. I know you didn't watch the music videos as much as I did, so you don't know like I do.
Joe gets very defensive, making eye contact with people. Listen, This is a really good dance I'm making up right now. You should be enjoying it.
That sounds extra creepy too. Enjoy these moves. Jive, jive, jive.
Well, okay, I guess we have differing opinions on being dates, but I think there's still to mine there. There's still things to mine. Next time you're a date, think about how you want to use that opportunity.
Testing grounds or whatever.
Testing ground.
But what else, Morg? So you said you had some general opinions. What else do you feel about wedding?
That was my general opinion, but I do have some great stories.
That was it.
Oh, do you need me to say some more things about weddings?
Oh, I just thought you were going to list a bunch, but no, that's perfectly fine with me. I'm okay.
Yeah. So I have some more opinions. The cake is never good.
Oh, fondant? Who decided fondant was a thing?
Who decided that you need your cake to look like a basket or something? Like, I feel like cakes these days, like, they have to look like something, and people are like, oh my God, that cake, it looks amazing. And then it tastes garbagey.
Exactly. I agree. I mean, and for me, it's like, I don't even mind, like, the cake itself, but fondant, like, come on, guys. Like, just give me some buttercream frosting. Like, fondant is, like...
It's hard.
Rubber. Like, I don't even know. It's gross. It's like eating... the texture of beef jerky.
Yeah, and remember that show that was like Cake Boss or something? And every cake he put fondant on, and I'm like, yeah, that might look like a U.S. map, but it tastes like the worst thing you've ever eaten.
Is this who we have to blame for this fad, Morg?
Yes, I think so.
Thanks a lot, Cake Boss.
I know. And like, I just don't understand why at your wedding you need it to look like, I don't know, something that represents you. Like, let it be a cake. Just let it be a cake.
Well, Morg, now I really want to ask you, if you could choose a cake to represent you, what would it be?
Oh my gosh. Well, I have to make it look like something?
Yeah. If it's your wedding day. Is your cake a basket? Is your cake a heart? Like, I don't know, but where do these people even come up with these ideas for these cake things?
Maybe I'm being too harsh on the bride's cake, but also, why are there two cakes? The groom's cake is always the one that looks like something. Like, oh, he really likes drinking beer. It looks like beer or something. I don't know.
Yeah, like your step-grandpa's was plain.
Exactly. Like, why is the groom's cake like something that the groom likes? Like, it's just weird. It's like, here's your last chance to have a hobby because I'm taking them away.
But that is such a good point, because there's two cakes. One is the wedding cake and one is the groom's cake. Like, I'm sorry. I want a cake for myself, like, just to myself.
Yeah, here's the one that unionizes us. Here's my cake. There's your cake. This is an equal marriage.
A lot of cake. Yeah, because that feels unfair. I'm really not into that. Like, you know what? Forget it. You don't even get a cake. Like, groom's cakes, I don't even know how long those have existed for, but as far as I'm concerned, like, they're over. And bride's cakes are now a thing.
Yeah, and we're going to make sure one of those cakes at least tastes good. That's the rule.
Both of them. Can we make them both?
Well, I would love if both of them do. It seems like a non-negotiable. One has to taste bad and look like something.
Okay, Morg, then fine. What if you had a groom's whatever, bride's cake, whatever, what would it look like? What does it represent? Like, ooh, Morg's last hurrah, even though it's her wedding day, and we'd need this cake to look like something.
My cake would look like some really huge diva sunglasses.
Ooh, I like that. Like big stars.
And then it would say, this isn't my last hurrah, bitches.
We're just getting started. Shut up.
Oh, yeah. Why is it? Here's another hot take. Why is it always the last hurrah? Like, are we not having fun anymore? What has nobody told me about getting married? Like, why is this the end?
You're right. It's like not as appealing when it's like, it's over for you.
Yeah, they all ball and chain. Like, why are there all these negative associations? Like, should I not get married? What are y'all trying? Like, blink twice if you're okay.
After this, you'll just be watching the 5 o'clock news and having one beer.
Say goodbye to your man cave. I was like, what? Like, what are all these, like, connotations with the marriage that everybody hates their life after?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not into it.
Yeah. What about you, Joe? What would your cake represent?
Ooh, I really like your diva cake. Let's see. What would my cake be of to represent me?
And that's the part where it's, like, not great because it's not like one thing really represents you.
Yeah. So is it like you choose one thing you love, or?
Yeah, like, oh, it's a Florida League because he's from Louisiana.
Okay. I would want someone to build my cake to look like a huge bowl of ice cream.
Oh my God, I love that. But don't you just wish it was just ice cream then?
I do, but wouldn't it melt? And isn't it the point that my cake looks like something?
You're right. That's the part that really pisses me off. Like, why, if you like ice cream, why don't you just eat ice cream? That's what I would ask the bride has that cake.
Nope, it's tradition.
'Tis tradition. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. It's a food that looks like another food. Congratulations.
Well, yeah.
No, I mean that. I think you proved my point though with it.
I think I did too. I agree on this one. But before I ask you that, I believe you were going to tell me a story.
Okay, yes. I'll stop doing hot takes right now because I'm probably pissing people off.
Well, we might have to revisit it because I feel like you've brought up some very valid points.
Yes. So one time I went to a wedding as a date. Didn't know these people at all. Was just having a great time, busting those moves. That's right. And so then we get to what could be a fun or another boring part of a wedding, these speeches. Sometimes they're fun. Sometimes I'm like, oh, that was funny. Sometimes they're like wasted people that are like, I love you.
Yes.
And like other times they're like this. So don't know the bride, don't know the groom. I'm like, okay, let's get this. Let's see what's going to happen. And the sister of the bride is the maid of honor. She comes up and I don't know, like clearly this girl did not clear her speech with the bride because she starts going into a story and the bride straight up cuts her off and it's like, shh. And the girl has like a mic on and then interrupts the speech. And that, I'm tuned in. I'm eating popcorn. I am like, whoa.
First row seat.
Yeah. Then the girl and the maid of honor, the bride and the maid of honor go like backstage. I mean, it's not stage, but they're like behind these staircase where they were talking. But the girl still has a mic on. And she's like, you cannot tell that story. And like, we can all hear it. And then the mother of the bride like runs because we can all hear it. She's like, you cannot tell these people this, blah, 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 blah. And then they like cut the mic off, right?
Oh my God.
But I was like, what was this story? So then of course the rest of the wedding, I'm like, y'all, what was that story?
And
like,
you never found out?
Tell me. Yeah, I did. So apparently, I mean, it's not as juicy as you want it to be because that's like hella embarrassing, that whole part.
The buildup, yeah.
Well, and then the maid of honor comes back and is crying and finishes her speech like, and I love my sister. And I was like, oh my God, this is terrible.
What?
But apparently, the bride just should have let her sister tell the story. Like, it was stupid. The whole thing was that apparently the bride and groom had met in their workplace and had started dating before they told everyone that they did. But I was like, you're getting married now. Like,
yeah.
Okay, sure, you don't want people to know that you were dating before you should have been dating. But it's like, what are we talking about? The stakes are over. Like, y'all are getting married now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That turns out to be a pretty boring story.
But they made it so much juicier. I was like, wow, y'all really outdid yourself for the thrill of it all.
Oh, and that is good. And that's something that I was thinking. I guess this is my opinion on weddings. I kind of feel like they should get rid of the speeches or they should be edited down or whatever. Like, I feel like toss that out with the wedding ceremony itself because I too have seen some speeches that have been like, what? Like, or sometimes they go on for like 20 minutes. Like, guys, I'm itching to get out on that dance floor and test out my moves.
It's calling my name, y'all.
I gotta go. Like, you just took away an hour of my cardio.
Gotta get my workout in, y'all.
Come on. But I went to a wedding and it was like the mom of the groom gets up there and she's like listing all of these things. Like, you're the peanut butter to his jelly, like to the bride, like you're the peanut butter to his jelly. You're the, I don't know, there's like 1,000 of them. And then she says, you're the cream to his long john. And this was like a family wedding. And I just remember like catching my uncle's eyes and being like, what? And it was also like out of all the people to like catch the eyes.
Your uncle!
But Morg, then you looked around the room and it was like everyone was looking at everyone like the cream to his long john. Like, that sounds so
saying?
Sexual. No, have you ever heard that?
No, I've never heard that, but sometimes I'm out of date.
But I mean, like, what's a long john anyways? We found out later that it's a donut, and I guess their family just really liked these donuts called long johns, and they have cream inside.
And she thought people would know that?
Right? But we're all like, what on earth? Like, a long john sounds what? Oh, it was weird.
Well, man, okay, I think I'm going to disagree with you on cutting the speeches out, though. I mean, yeah, you don't need 5, but I always enjoy it now, especially with the drama of the one from my story. Like,
You're right.
I'm always like, this is a little intrigue. This is a little break for me. I'm probably out of breath by now. I've been dancing. I need a moment.
Okay, but how often do you get a gem like that for all the duds?
Okay, you're right. You're right. They need like that needs to be part of your wedding package. You will have a speech reviewer.
Maybe as hype men, we could offer that service.
It's like the Fab Five on Queer Eye, and we're like gonna sit down with them and like be like, no, you can't write that. Like Karamo's role, like kind of coaching them.
Oh.
No, you can't write that. You gotta, that's gonna be the most boring thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, I'd be like, girl, your job is to make the bride look good.
Yeah, we're gonna edit, and they'll be like, that's not even true, and you'll be like, so what? You're like bullying them.
Say
it. And then every like bridesmaid speech is like, little did I know the girl next to me was about to become my best friend in 7th grade.
Yeah.
Like, tell me that's not how you've heard a lot of them start. That's when I'd go get my editing pen out, my red editing pen. I'd strike through that. Say, no. We're going to start with something funny. We're not going to start with this.
Then I'm going to have to go and start from scratch. The one I was planning for your wedding, I've been writing for 10 years, Morg, and that's exactly how it starts.
Little did I know
that we met in the library, and who knew that it would take us here.
And then everyone's asleep and nobody's going back to the dance floor, and that's fine because it's cleared for me.
More space to
hip jive.
There we go.
Yeah. The speeches, I think, need some revamp, not necessarily a cut. Can we negotiate there?
You're right. Okay, and I can get on board with that because, again, I think that, again, like having been to some weddings and like hearing some speeches, it's like they need to be edited for sure. Like send it to the bride or like someone else who has time to read it, but like they need to be short and sweet and, a little joke in there. But yeah, like just going on and on for like 10 minutes and like nobody proofread it, it's not working.
Yeah. Okay. This could be a part of the hype man role, or I think we have just described another business venture. Because seriously, I could set up a site, you fill in this template, give me a little background, populate a speech for you that's not boring.
Okay, and the way that this works, I mean, maybe this is getting too deep into it. Is it like a formula, or are you actually writing the speeches when they input?
No, I mean, there's a writer.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not us.
It's like you just, I mean, it could be us. We'll never tell. But you just input information based on a template. That's like, what's your funny story? And then when I get it and I'm like, that's not funny, I will edit it.
You say, okay, here's the story we're going to tell. And it's like complete lies.
They're like, this is like Steve Martin's stand-up bit.
This is weird. I feel like I've heard this story before. Everything you pull is from some stand-up.
And then I have to like say pause for dramatic effect. Like, this is all about delivery. Don't mess this up.
Ooh, you're right. I feel like this could be a service.
But Joe, I had one last story to tell of my bridesmaid adventures. And it also goes to another hot take I have around the ceremony and when there's singing involved. Like, I hate singing. I'm not a good singer.
I agree. Ugh, hate it.
I'm just not gonna be the one that's gonna sing the loudest, okay? And it's just not what I'm made for. I'm made for the dance floor.
Oh yeah, we can't be blessed with everything.
So I was in a wedding where we had to do the dress rehearsal or whatever, the rehearsal. So my hot take is twofold. It involves singing and it involves the rehearsal, because I feel like you've done one rehearsal, you've done them all. Am I right? Like, do I need to know how to walk down this aisle?
Oh, yeah, I agree. I mean, unless it's like really intricate or something, like you got to hop over the stone.
And who is going to add an intricate walk down their aisle? Like, we will mess that up. You think these boys are listening? They're drunk. They went golfing earlier. They're not going to know.
You're right. That's a waste.
Yeah. So I am always like, I think we all get it. Just tell me who my partner is and I will get information. But
and then someone tell me when to start walking. That's it.
Yeah, that's all I need. A cue. Okay, when the girl in front of me is halfway down, got it. And you know what? Tomorrow might do it wrong and nobody will care because that's how these things go.
Okay, very good point. Okay.
But I was at a rehearsal and they had us actually go to the church to rehearse it because it's like, wow, a church unlike any other church. I must practice. So we go do our thing and then they had us practice the singing that we were going to do.
What?
And
what?
I was like, no, this is a one-time deal for me. So I will do this tomorrow. But the priest came up to me and was like, sing. And
were you not singing at all?
No, I was just presently standing in my place by the bride.
Yeah, I feel like that's good enough.
I was in my line and we were singing whatever, hymn we were going to sing the next day. And he was like, come on, gotta sing. And I mean, he was trying to be energetic, which I appreciate, but I was like, nope. Tomorrow's my big day.
Yeah, that's weird.
I am saving the vocal cords because I can't do it today. It's not going to sound good today or tomorrow.
Yeah, I never sing. I'm shocked that I've never been called out for not singing either. To me, that is a bold move, priest.
Yeah, maybe I should have been holding the words up and at least looking at them, but I think he was thoroughly unimpressed with my my rehearsal.
Well, I don't blame you. Like you said, it's not necessary. We can figure this one out, guys. I could be doing other things right now.
Yes, I think we all can make this happen. We can all get down there. We can all make it to our positions.
Yeah.
Just tell me the order. But that's the part where I'm like, the rehearsal doesn't need to take place on location. I can do this at the restaurant we're all going to eat at tonight. And we will all know, okay, this is generally how this is going to go.
Just practice walking down the hallway to the bathroom. Easy peasy.
Yeah, I was at in a wedding where we did practice it at the restaurant. And I was like, I like this. This seems reasonable.
But again, I feel like, okay, I'm with you. I feel like if you're going to practice, that's the best way to do it. But practice, I don't know. Why practice? It's
okay.
It's not necessary.
Well, I mean, when I say practice here, I'm using it loosely. She just told us you're paired with this guy. And this is the order.
Oh.
So I was like,
okay,
perfect.
Then that's the perfect type of practice. That's the exact kind of practice I want to do.
No hymns, no meeting at another location. Just literally, this is your partner? And I'm like, cool. You got it. I trust you.
Let's do it. Rock and roll. You've been in a fair amount of weddings though, right? You've been in a lot.
I think I've lost count, Joe. I've been in 10 weddings.
Yeah, I've been in one.
Well, how do you feel about it? Do you need to do it again? I don't know if I need to do it again.
Oh, I take that back. I've been in 2. Would I do it again? I mean, I had a good time. The one wedding was my sister's wedding, and the one thing that I didn't love about that was it took 5 hours for hair and makeup, and I was like, I could be at the pool. I could be doing anything else right now. But I mean, it was really fun. It was a fun wedding, but that was the one thing. But no, I mean, I feel like I don't, especially the older I get, it's I don't know that I need to be in a wedding, but I mean, I had good times. I don't know, but you're the expert.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Once you're in a wedding, you, of course, deeply care about the person. Well, most likely you deeply care about the person you're in the wedding for.
Why am I here? I don't even know you.
What am I, an extra?
Just needed an extra body because the groom had one more person.
I feel like that makes it all worth it, but yeah, I do feel that pain of well, I could be chilling. I could be well, and it's hard too when you're a bridesmaid for someone who you're not close with that person's inner circle. And then you're just kind of yeah, I want to support my friend and they're my good friend, but they're busy. And then I'm with all these people I don't know.
Yeah.
Who might not be a good hang, It might be a bad hang.
Yeah, so I've never had that happen. I mean, because I've only been in those 2 weddings and I knew everyone. So, but that's a good point. When you're a friend, but you're everyone else's friends from, I don't know, maybe they're from high school growing up and then you're a work friend. I don't know.
Yeah, it makes it kind of hard. But I mean, regardless, I just am jealous of the guys. They get to show up 10 minutes before the wedding and be like, I got to put my tie on.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
And I'm like, are you kidding me? And they always get to golf the day of.
Yes.
And I've been there since 5 a.m. I've had eyelashes on since 8. I am a sweaty mess normally. I don't know.
Yeah, Morg, I was just thinking about this. I went to a wedding about a year ago And I woke up in the morning and immediately started like doing my hair. And my boyfriend went and got his hair cut. Then he met up with his friends, had a beer. And then by the time he came back, I was still getting ready. I was like maybe just then putting on my eyelashes. But it was like, are you kidding me? Like you went out and you just like cross things off your to-do list. And this is all I've done for 4 hours.
Yeah. Like I feel like the guys, they get to have like a day still to themselves, and then they like come show up to a wedding, a party. I am like ironing things. I'm like putting a backdrop together for a photo booth. I am like, what is happening?
It's an all-day affair.
Yeah, moving furniture. I'm like, where are the boys? They're like, oh, they're golfing.
Oh, see, another tradition I'm over, Morg. Let's nix the groom cake and let's nix the men golfing.
I think I'm ruining the weddings for men, but yeah. Or take me golfing and you go put eyelashes on for 5 hours. And then we'll see how much y'all like it.
Exactly. I'm done.
I'm done.
Burning those eyelashes.
Well, Joe, I feel like we have hated on a lot of wedding traditions today, which I apologize for if you are offended. No, I don't. I mean everything I said. And I would like to know what is a wedding tradition that you would want to keep or that you want to start doing.
I feel like I'd want to like cash it down. Like, how about I get to wear jeans? Or how about we have like a couple of kegs and I don't have to get all of these fancy alcohols, or I don't have to decorate, or let's just do a taco truck, like a couple of pizzas. Like, let's skip this 3-course meal thing. I don't know more.
I feel like food trucks have become a fad. I like that. I like how one of your traditions was suggestion was a keg.
Let's just keep it simple.
But yeah, I feel like food trucks have become popularized, and especially in Austin here, I feel like a lot of people have food trucks at their weddings, which is fun. But the lines get so long.
Oh, then that's not worth it.
I was thinking, like, I think we could have pre-made some of these items, but
yeah, like you guys had to have anticipated more than one person was going to order brisket tacos.
300 people were about to come out of that ceremony and come line up
immediately to get some tacos.
For me, I think I definitely agree. Something fun, something light. I think something along the lines of, I don't know, everything I feel like I think of sounds expensive.
Well, that's okay, Morg. It's your wedding day. Weddings are expensive, so what's another $100,000?
We're always on a budget, Joe, okay?
I know.
It like pains me to even think about spending more money.
That's how cheap we are. You can't even think lavish thoughts.
I know. I'm trying to think of something like a tradition, though, that like then every person could incorporate in their wedding. So maybe like all I can think of is removing things. Like I'm like, remove that gift that I get at the end. It's like a bag of M&Ms. Like that's a waste.
What? I love those. That's exactly what I want when I've been drinking, is like a little bag of M&Ms on my way out.
I just always thought like they don't need to be in this little like lavender mesh pouch. Like I just feel like they're overdone.
Yeah. I would vote remove, and maybe it's already out of style because I haven't seen it. I feel like I've seen it occasionally in like videos, but like the garter that the guy takes off with his mouth.
Oh, yeah, never doing that. Okay, I did just think of something that is a great tradition to have. My friend at her wedding had these amazing little shoes you could put on for the girls for the dance floor. And they were just like flats that then everybody was wearing. And I was like, this is the best thing ever. They were like little ballet flats.
I love that. So the tradition is that you gift the women
the gift of dance floor shoes.
The gift of dancing. More. That's really what it is.
Like it was so nice. And then like just so nice to be like, after the pictures, these shoes are never going back on, y'all.
Oh my gosh. That is so nice because gosh, that's another thing that sucks for girls is we put on eyelashes and super tall shoes and then you expect us to drop it low.
I know.
It's a lot to ask of a lady.
It is. And I want to make the switch over to stop being a lady. At 9 p.m., I'm putting on those flats and I'm getting low. I don't care if a speech is still going on. I'm going.
Cue up that Cupid Shuffle. It's time.
Well, Joe, I think we have given enough opinions for the week. We'll just let those settle. I really loved this episode. I think I had a lot to get out.
I didn't realize We got a lot, apparently. A lot of issues.
Next week, I'm hoping we have something maybe a little more cheery, or we'll double down on this because I think I have about 40 more opinions to share.
Start a list, Morg. Start a list.
Well, this has been another week with 2Bs from Lil D. Thank you so much for listening, and follow us on Instagram at 2Bs from Lil D. Send us your bee baggage and let us know what you think about the fire escape's next phase of its journey. Have a good week.